Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on YouTube. This man always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, we're already into the third week of April. What is the odds? I mean, it seems like it's the fourth month, the third week, and then next thing you know, we're halfway through 2024. It seems like we just started. So anyway, folks, as a content maker, I like to reach out to ladies in the sport. And this is lady was recommended by a gentleman who I got the pleasure of talking to, the lovely Mr. Ryan Johnson, aka DD on the spot. This is the lady he considers a very dear friend of his. This is the lovely Miss Lindsey Diaz. She is an IFBB Pro Physique competitor. So we're going to talk to Lindsey, get her story, how she got started in bodybuilding, and what her plans for 2024. So, ma'am, this is the question I also ask you ladies. What got you started in this sport, as I call it, muscle and masculinity? Please share.
Very good question. It was when I turned 28. I had been training in a gym setting for a while. I first stepped into a gym in my teens, and then I've been active in sports, in track and field. I played water polo in high school. And so I've always been moving my body. I've always been pretty active. And so anyways, after my 28th birthday, I was like, what am I doing? Like, what am I, people would ask me, what are you training for? And that wasn't necessarily like why I decided to set a goal, but it was more for myself. I was like, okay, I need to set a goal. I need a challenge and something to aim for while I'm training, while I'm in super great shape. And so I had thought, well, maybe I'll do a triathlon. And then I was like, no, I'm not really a cyclist. I don't enjoy that. And I had seen Nicole Wilkins. I think she was either on Generation Iron or another documentary about female bodybuilders or featuring bodybuilders. And she was a female bodybuilder. And she was one of the first, like, really... stand out like figure athletes. And that's what I started. And I started in the figure division. So long story short, I was like, okay, by the time that I'm 30, I want to be an IFBB Pro. I want to like see how far I can push bodybuilding and see where I can go in this sport. And if, this is something that I like. I didn't know if I would enjoy being on stage. There's literally nowhere to hide when you're on stage, dead center, in a tiny rhinestone bikini. Like there's not a lot you can hide up there. You just have to like embrace it, and you're just like, here we go. Whether or not you're in like comfortable doing that. And so I've never done anything where I'm like on exhibition, right? So it was my first show. I ended up cleaning out and getting like first in my class, and then I did take overall, and I did take first as a novice. So it's like, once you're like, oh my gosh, look at I triumphed, I was successful at my competition. And looking back, it's so funny to see like how I started and how much growth there has been. It's wild.
Yeah, it's a process, getting the sport. It's a lot, especially for a woman. There's a lot of people. You got to understand that this sport is probably a difficult sport to do. The training, the being consistent, dieting. The mindset of like the everyday person is like, okay, just pop these pills, pop steroids, boom, boom, boom. But it's a lot of work to be a bodybuilder. Like the great Ronnie Koeman said, like this: if everybody wants to be a bodybuilder, but no one want to lift the heavy ass weight.
Those heavy ass weights. Yeah,
shout out to Ronnie. We got here. This is from a man James. He says, "Hi George, buddy, and everyone. Appreciate it." We got here the female bodybuilder channel. Hi Lindsey. Hey bro. Yeah, I think that's JB or is it AJ? One of you. Thank y'all brothers for coming through. Also, we got here. Lawrence Perkins, shout out to Lawrence. Good afternoon,
hi,
beautiful Lindsey, George, everyone on the chat. Oh, everybody knows Lawrence. Lawrence is that. Everybody, he's that dude. Anytime I do any of you, see him put his name, they say, "Oh, it's Lawrence." Y'all get so excited. He's that dude. So you started out. You were doing figure original, and then you switched over. When did you switch over to physique?
So I switched over to physique. I believe it was my third competition. I had already qualified to compete nationally or at nationals in the figure division. But I just, for whatever reason, I was encouraged. It was my posing coach, Jeffrey Dwelly. He's based out of Texas. He's based out of the greater Dallas area. And he's great posing coach, great coach in bodybuilding in general, great trainer. And he just looked at like how my physique was developing. And he was like, you should really give physique a try. You should give it a shot. Take those heels off, try women's physique. You've got the muscle density, you've got good development and structure. Let's see how you enjoy this division. And so I did well. I was nationally qualified then at that point for physique also. So at nationals, you have to choose one or the other though. So, or at least at that time, I believe I couldn't compete in figure and physique at nationals. So I had to pick one. And so for my first 2 competitive years, I really stuck to figure. I just loved that division. And then I just grew out of it. So I just kept lifting. My love for training, that is like ultimately what I love about this sport. I love the challenge every day when I enter the gym. It doesn't matter what I did the day before because those weights are still the same weight, right? You still got to move the same weight, if not more, the next time you go in, or find a way to make the same weight feel heavier or feel harder. To produce the same stimulus in your body or to produce, a similar effect as far as like growth, shape, muscle density. And, I've really fallen in love with training, but my love for training took me out of the figure division because I just grew out of it. And now competing in physique, I think that's definitely, I know that's definitely where I belong.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, if you look at the divisions now, they have really kind of changed in the last few years. Like you see the girls. Now nationals you can double dip because I interviewed a couple of ladies who did nationals last year. They both earned their pro cards. One was competing in wellness, one was competing in figure, and she got a pro card in figure. One was competing in physique, and one was keeping open women's bodybuilding. She got a pro card in physique.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I think also it's about the aesthetics because you look at the divisions instead again now, the girls in figure have be broader in the shoulders. They have that more tapering look, and that's what they want to see also in physique. But the girls in physique are getting closer to the women in bodybuilding. And you've been on stage with some ladies whose physique, so you look at them and say like, is she in the right division or I don't know. It's just always a debate about this. Here's this from a man. Money J, shout out to Money J, says, "Oh no, George, I was talking to Lindsey with this question. What question you were talking with?" He says, this says, "Will Lindsey Diaz be watching the Vancouver Island Showdown?" That's
and you know
coming
what?
up.
I'm a little disappointed. There's only 3 women's physique competitors so far registered for the Vancouver show, and I'm just like kicking myself. Like I just could have totally. Stayed conditioned, stayed in shape through the winter months and crushed it. But, I've got my eyes set on Tampa this year.
Yeah. Also it's the holidays. Sometimes you really want to enjoy that time with friends and families, the food. And then when you're like a big man like me, the winter is good for me because it's a lot warmer. But when it gets close to the summer season, I'm like a giant ghetto snowman. I start to melt. So I just get with that heat. But yeah, I mean, I interviewed one lady who competed at the show, a couple of ladies who I interviewed are competing in the show. One lady in physique, that's Mariana Van Gecke. She's competing. I feel like she's going to win this one. And then you have women's bodybuilding is like you have 5 competitors. A possibility, most definitely Julie Wetzel. She looks like she's a candidate to get her second Olympic qualification because she took second last year. Anyway, we got here from my man Stefan Prey, and he says, "Are you competing this season?" So you just mentioned you are planning on maybe doing the Tampa. So is that the only show you're shooting for? Or is that just
That'll be the starting point. Yeah, so I'm 16 weeks out from the Tampa Pro. It's August 1st to the 3rd, and I can't wait. I've competed at Tampa before, and last year I was there to attend and watch the show. I didn't compete, and so I'm going to have fun going back. Same venue, beautiful location, great crew. They have a wonderful little exhibit hall too as part of the show. So
Yeah,
that's always fun.
because 2022 was your debut, right, as a pro.
2021 was my debut as a pro.
Okay.
And it was my debut was at Tampa.
Yeah, and I think actually you did another show in 2022. You did the
2022 was my debut as a pro.
see.
I
Because
know
this is why.
it's that COVID. Those years are totally lost. Like,
Well, this is something I learned from my master Raza Gul Demons. He says he talks to me, beware surroundings at all time. Never give a show fooling for a killing blow. And I learned that. But also you did a show that same year in Savannah, and that was the first time I went to see a bodybuilding show. So I saw you live in person.
okay, great. You were at the Linda Murray. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, she put on a great show. I love that show.
I hate that it's gone. It's like I live in North Carolina, so Georgia. I have family in Georgia because one time, well, after when the show was over, the next day I missed my train back home.
Oh, no, you missed your train home? Oh
yeah, God. but here my oldest niece, she lives in Atlanta. She drives 3 hours down to get her uncle and take him back home because that was shout out to my niece Marlena. Yeah, and Tampa, that's a great show. Like this is from the female bodybuilding show. Female body show says Tampa is a great spot, but very competitive.
It is very competitive, and I plan to show up to compete and win.
Yeah,
that's the goal.
Yeah, I know. Last year you also competed at the Atlanta Coast Show, and there was the current. Well, at the time she was the former champion, Natalia Coelho. Competing there, and that is tough when you got to go up against ex Miss Olympia in show with Olympic qualification.
I really loved it though, because that's what I want to be compared to. I want to see myself on stage next to the best so that I could see, okay, where are my strengths? Where are my weaknesses? Where do I fall in the lineup? And I barely missed the top 10. So I feel like, okay, if I'm like right outside the top 10, I know what I need to do to work my way up and achieve that first place win.
Yeah, it's tough because it's like I said, it takes a lot of work. And after that show, what was the critique the judges give you? You at the Atlanta Coast.
You know what? It was great. They were like, "Well, don't change your upper body is in. Your upper body is flawless. We love it. Got to bring up the legs. The bottom has to match the top."
Yeah, and also I know that the legs is most. You want to have a great overall physique. Especially with you girls in figure, it's more about the conditioning. You have to have that tapering waist like Natalia, and you want that good broad shoulders, but also you don't want to be too big like a women's bodybuilding division, but you want that certain look that really works for you. We're here. We got here. This is from my man. James Henry says, Lindsey, what is your favorite color and food?
Ooh. I love all colors. It's hard to pick a favorite. If I had to pick a favorite, it would be like an aqua blue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then favorite food, probably sushi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So after your last show, where's that? That's what you wanted the most after you finish the show. Like you want some sushi because quite a few ladies say they love sushi. Me personally, I don't have no taste for raw fish. I don't even eat cooked fish.
You know what? I also really love like Greek food, like Mediterranean food. It's hard. Like after you compete, you're so depleted. I just wanted water.
Yeah. Because especially on stage, you have remember people can forget that you are very near to dehydration. Because and that's a look that's hard to maintain year round, that shredded look. Because especially for guys who are a fan of women bodybuilding, there's a small saying I heard a long time ago. It said, "When you ladies rock hard, we'll rock hard." And it's a look that it takes a lot of time to build. And you got to understand that it's not easy to do what y'all do, and also for you women, it's expensive for us to compete because the cost of not just the travel cost, then you have the cost of your tanning, room and board when you go to a show, hair, nails, the suit right there alone. That's right there. And then your food, you have to have like, what's your diet like during the week when you are prepping?
My prep diet is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Lean meat, so that could be like chicken, tuna, ground turkey, or um, a fattier meat, which would be salmon or grass-fed beef. Those are my proteins. And then my carbs will be white rice, rice cakes, oats, a little bit of oats. Greek yogurt also works in there. A little bit of fruit, some berries, and a lot of veggies. That's that's it. Very basic.
Yeah, that's pretty much basic. Everybody got to understand that the food is the more important part about growing as an athlete. Some I have one time I had every one lady say one time when she started competing, she ate gelatos. It's not good to eat that. You got to eat certain foods. High protein, low carbs, something like that. It's just a mix of whatever works for you. So we're gonna, like I said, this is a shout out from a man, the female empowerment child, like this says, me is enjoying Lindsey's content on Insta. So I think this is where we're gonna play loop into her social media. We're going on Instagram for a bit. And guys, if you want to follow Lindsey, her social media stuff is in the video description of this live stream. So you want to check it out. You can follow her, you can support her, whatever else. But guys, this is no officially. I tell this every time I do this thing. When I announce when you have social media, there's weird guys out there. And guys, I'm gonna tell you this: no D pics. Stop it.
Yeah, don't send me anything personal, please.
No, she didn't want to see that shit. No,
Nope.
yeah. So we're gonna jump in here in her IG here, and right here.
There's some stuff with featuring clients. I am a trainer and coach myself.
Mhm.
Yeah, some photo shoots in there, some motivational stuff for sure.
Yeah. So you say coach yourself, or you have a coach?
Oh no, I work with Phil Vizzacaro.
All right. And this is him right here working with you, or that's your opposing coach?
That's my posing coach, Christian. He is based out of West Covina, and he has Perfect Posing is his company. Great posing coach. I cannot say enough good things about him.
Yeah. And posing is very important for competitors. It helps you go and look. And here you are. You're working. That's one of your clients you're working with because you are a trainer. Yeah. And how long you been a trainer?
Gosh, now 6 years.
Uh-huh. You enjoy what you enjoy? Do you have like professional clients or you work with just people who try to lose that extra weight?
So both. So I have successfully prepped and gotten some athletes ready and been successful at competitions. And those athletes were men's physique, men's classic physique, women's wellness, women's bikini, and women's physique.
Yeah. As we say, and this is one of your clients right here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Darlene. She's recovering. She had a successful hip surgery. So proud of her.
That's really good. I know I got two bad knees. That's Stone Cold Steve Austin. My doctor talked about me getting me knee surgery. I'm kind of holding it off right now. So
this is so fun. I was at the Mutant booth. You could see their little logo there on their Wii ISO.
Yeah.
And
I know
they have that competition where you have to hold and you can't drop it, can't move those shoulders. Yep.
Yeah. How long did you hold it?
2 minutes.
Uh-huh. I know it's tough. And Mutant, that is one of the companies, and it sponsors one of my favorite ladies of all time. That's Andrea Shaw. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get to see her?
Amazing.
Because I know sometimes she worked the booths. And the Olympia was last year. I think you probably maybe would check it out. It was still in Florida, but it's gonna come to Vegas next year. Are you planning if you do get your qualification? Are you gonna go to the Olympia?
Yeah. If I don't qualify to compete, I'll definitely go and attend and watch the main show of the year. I always try to make it out to support the sport overall and encourage others to attend as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my last show that I finished in November of last year.
Yeah,
And it
the
was
Atlantic
so
Coast Road.
fun. So the Atlantic Coast Show, I competed, and then the following day after I finished competing was my birthday. So what a fun way to celebrate! Being in
Yeah,
your best shape, doing what you love. Yeah, I love the sport.
yeah. Because I just found out, folks, before we talking, her birthday's on November 19th. It's the same day as my birthday. And I will say we're gonna have a big, as you know, I post stuff when anytime birthdays, so my birthdays come, and this is really special for me to post somebody for somebody's birthday coming up, and do some photo shoots here and here. And you worked with Sean Nelson, who I got a pleasure to interview. Seen one here, and also this is another photo here from the Atlanta coach. You look pretty good, and you kind of missed the top 10.
Just barely, I know. So that's telling me that I am moving up in the sport, though. So got to bring those legs out just a little bit more.
Yeah, because you had competing with some Olympic level competitors. You have here Jenny
Yeah, Jeannie
Feldman. Yeah,
Feldman.
Jenny.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
she's someone who inspires me. Her husband actually used to coach me, Marty,
Oh,
and
yeah.
so getting to know them and then being on stage next to her, that was incredible. It was like
Yeah.
full circle for me.
Yeah, here's a nice photo here, guys. And yeah, wow. Yeah. You
Blocky
know,
abs. Yep.
well, but you look great. You have
Thank
amazing
you.
look. You have amazing body. I mean, sometimes, like I said, even things that maybe not be, you might not think it's good on you. Some other people do. And I know the guys who's in the live streams, they're excited about seeing these pics. But yeah, it's a lot of work to do this sport. The time you got to put in, a lot of sacrifice. And what about your family? Do they support your competitive bodybuilding?
That's a great question. So I have daughters. I have 13 and 15-year-old girls. And so for the last like 5 years, they've just been seeing, well, like 6 years now. They've been just seeing mom. Okay, she's consistently going to the gym, doing what she loves, staying up late, waking up early to make sure that I can pursue the sport to my fullest. And see me stick to my diet, so they'll see me meal prep and not drink. I don't drink if we're at a social function. And I really I love the fact that I'm setting that example for them.
Yeah, and it's good that I know quite a few ladies who like yourself who have children. Being a mom and training, working out, and I think also it's good that you're showing something that your children can accomplish. I mean, you think about it, you change your lifestyle, a little healthier. I know you got teenagers, and I know there's times where they are like, mom, why are you walking around in your posing suit? I know they love you, but same time they feel like you embarrass them. Here we got here from the female Bobby challenge says, well, have to edit further. Read you all guys. Kudos to Lindsey. So see you later. Thank you for coming through. And
Yep.
also, this is from my man Lawrence. He says, I always enjoy to motivate by you all as well. And you inspire changing lives to everyone in the world as well. So yeah, that's great. Shout out to you, Lawrence.
That's
Appreciate it. So I know the sport. It's like I said, there's a lot for a woman to do the sport. Time you got to put in and the work you got to put in. If you had a choice, would you consider maybe doing something else besides bodybuilding and just focus on your training job and other careers?
Well, it is a choice. And the choice right now is I'm just choosing to focus on bodybuilding, as well as coaching and training, and it takes a lot to run a business. I'm the sole owner and therefore manager of the gym myself. So until I get to the point where I can hire a manager or justify hiring a manager, I think my next move, or I know my next move, is to grow. Um, Either build another gym, another training facility. I'm just not quite sure, or do some private label stuff, either with supplements. Um, we'll see. We'll see what this next year has in store.
Yeah, I know there's a lot to do. That I know, especially doing it when we talked about earlier with the when the virus hit. When it really hurt a lot of gyms. I know I talked to some ladies that were open up gyms and they couldn't do it because of the restrictions, and then so much, responsibilities and your clients, and and also trying to balance both being a competitor, a mom, and a trainer. It's a lot to do, and I gotta respect your passion for it. Um, this is from a man. James Henry says, "Lindsey, I like your kitchen table." Yeah, he probably looks up in the background. And also, this is for a man. Money J says, wasn't Natalia Carrillo at the Atlantic Pro? No, not the Atlanta Pro. It was Atlantic Coast Pro.
Atlantic Coast, yeah.
Yeah, and she's also going to be doing uh Pittsburgh and New York, I think, next month. I
Oh,
mean, yeah, yeah. I'm not a big fan of her. I feel like this. You have already qualified as for the Olympia. You were when you competed before Miss Olympia. You feel like that's like stacking the odds against you when you compete with someone like a good example, like if Sarah decided to jump into a pro qualifier.
right. So being a winner, you're always invited back. You're
Mhm.
always you're qualified for life, basically. Um, so is it? It's a question. Is it in good taste to take a place from another female who could qualify? I don't know. You know, um, the other women that are competing against her, I hope that they also embrace being compared to the best, because I mean, if you can't beat her, then you have to look for, okay, how can I take the best from this experience, right? What am I going to learn from this experience? What am I going to see in myself as a competitor? If you have to be compared to the best, you should just embrace it.
Mhm.
That's a really tough question.
Yeah, I understand because I know I get different answers. I know some ladies say that it's about competition, and and you want to try like one of my favorite old school wrestlers, Ric Flair said like to be the man, you got to beat the man, and yeah, and that's what it is. But some women feel like it's like not fair because you already got your spot. We want to get an opportunity to get to the next level. Then we have to go through you, and but that's the debate. That's up to her what she wants to do, and I think I'm just going to be on the fence on it. I don't think, to me, it's just taking a space for somebody who deserved it just as much as you do. That's just my opinion. I'm just going to say that. So, you know, when you first started, what was that feeling for yourself when they say now you're IFBB Pro?
What was that feeling?
Yeah.
Oh, I was elated. Oh my gosh. I was so just like, I think I was just more excited than anything that I now have qualified to compete with those women that I've idolized. Those women that I've looked up to, like Jeannie, for example. Now I could compete at that level. Oh my God. I can't wait to work my ass off to get on that stage and be a competitive pro. Because it's one thing to get your pro card and now you're an IFBB pro. Okay, how many individual athletes have we seen win their pro card and never go back to bodybuilding?
Hmm. Yeah. I've seen a
So
lady. Yeah, I think I've seen some ladies that got their pro cards and they just say, what, I done it. I'm done. And I understand this maybe because, like I said, it's said again, the expense of being a competitive bodybuilder. I
it's very
mean,
expensive. Yeah.
yeah, because you think about it, you're putting more into it than getting back.
Hmm.
And as we know, there's a big show. One of the biggest shows next to the Olympia is Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. And like I said, I used to be a fan of Arnold. I grew up watching the movies like the Terminator, the Predators, they get to the choppers, and then he pushes out those divisions like women's bodybuilding, physique, and now
That's
figure.
that's really kind of it's frustrating and it's disappointing that there's no female bodybuilding and no women's physique. I remember distinctly it was Natalie before she won the Miss Physique Olympia. She competed in the last time at the Arnold Classic. I think it last year,
No, it was
the year
back in
prior.
2020. 2020 last time they had women's physique at the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic.
Okay,
And then they dropped women's then they dropped figure around 2021 after 2021.
so the last time that she was able to compete on the Arnold Classic stage, her routine was just so amazing, just so inspiring. And I don't understand how you could take that away from women's physique. Some of the hardest workers, the hardest trained athletes, and I hope that it comes back to the Arnold Classic, but we'll see.
Well, I don't see anytime soon because the fact is, I know I talk to people and they tell me that because Sarah offered to pay up the sanctioning fees and put the prize money for Physique. And but they say it's a money thing. But like I say, if you can pull up an extra $200,000 for for men's open, and to me, like I said, this is what I learned. The men's open division is like, if you know the pimping game, it's the bottom bitch. It's the one that brings the money into promoters. And wellness is a popular division because it's a new division. You see a lot of women who are switching from physique and even figure going over to that division. I even seen some women who were bodybuilders who will go over the division because it's a popular division. It gets a lot more attention. Just recently, just got more money through promotion than physique or women's bodybuilding. And I like I say, I'm like this. I've been a fan of women's bodybuilding. Those ladies just work just as hard as physique competitors. So I got to give respect for what they put themselves through. It's a lot, but I feel like this. Instead, again, it costs more if you ladies compete. These guys got to put on a pair of banana shorts, a banana hammocks, and board shorts. You ladies, everything you have to go through, the hair, the makeup. I think the prize money should be a little bit better. I mean, most definitely.
I agree, or at least just give us like a suit, give away a suit for the winner, because that's at least like $1,000 right there. Like some good prizes that will help us further in our competitive career.
Yeah. And it's just that really helps because you know what? Here's the thing is when you pay every year for your pro card, and that's like $2 or $3 out of your pocket. I think there should be some benefits to it. Like, okay, if something happens, you get sick or get hurt, and you have kids, that should come in to help out. Okay, Lindsey, here's some stuff to help you out while you're recovering after your injury. Or we go to a doctor, you don't have to pay so much when you do your blood work. That's money a lot of they got to pay your pocket. Those little things that you ladies and men deserve. Because, like I said again, people who watch bodybuilding don't come see the promoters or the judges or the sponsors. We come see y'all. And if anything, there should be more, incentive for y'all to want to compete. Even though hey, you may not get the big prize money, but hey, come on, let's give them like a little, to get you a little bag at the end. But hey, come on, maybe save in like $50-$100 in there, because come on, that's a costly.
Something that would be nice, or even like if they partnered with a meal prep company, or like the chicken pound, or something that offset our costs that we're gonna have anyways.
Yeah. Well, we got here this comment from my man Money J. Says, well, don't forget Ronnie Coleman, Mr. Olympia, and he competed in shows outside of the Olympia during his prime. Yeah, yeah. I know a lot of guys do that, but with guys, there's more shows than there is for women, and then they get more prize money compared to the women. There's like if you look at now, right now, physique is down to maybe about 15, 16 shows, if that much. Women's bodybuilding barely over 10. But then you look at divisions like wellness, men's classic, men's physique, men's open. They got 111 million shows, and I know they took out the point system, which could help. I think wheelchairs should have point system, but I think divisions like most definitely women's bodybuilding, need a point system because there's so few shows, and it gives the opportunity for competitors to say, you know what, if I go to a show and if like Natalia or Sarah or any other top competitors are there, and I get in the top 3, I can use the points to go to the Olympia.
Right. Yeah, that is kind of a bummer that they did get rid of the point system, because you have to just win. Only winners go to the Olympia.
Yeah. It's like like only winners get to eat ice cream and cake afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only winners.
So, like I said, what you girls do? What are they have hobbies? Are they in sports also?
I'm sorry?
Your little girls, are they in the hobbies and sports and like that?
Oh, my girls. Yeah. I have a swimmer. My youngest is a great swimmer. She's now getting ready to do her first meet. And then my older daughter, she plays tennis, and she does track and field as well. So
yeah. So they follow mama's
family. We go hiking, go to the beach. We have a dog that, it requires a lot of time and effort, and walks and runs, and yeah, we're pretty active together.
That's good. I know it's good that you spend time with your children, and then I know sometimes when you're prepping your food, do they eat what you want to eat, or they get you cook separately when you cook?
So we kind of do a blend of both, right? So I cook a lot of my proteins in a large batch. So there'll be cooked proteins in the fridge that my older daughter will she'll make her like carbs or make her veggies, and then she'll go, okay, mom, I'm going to take some of your ground turkey, or I'm going to take some of this chicken that's cooked in here. It looks great. Okay, fine. I love that they eat healthy, and especially getting that protein in their diet as they grow. It's great.
Yeah, that's like I said, it's good for kids to eat healthy. I started eating a little healthier since I got older now. I was taking care of my mom for a long time. I was almost 500 pounds, and I
Oh,
said,
wow.
I got to step back. But then sometimes it's just those things about certain foods that sometimes you just can't deny yourself. Sometimes it tastes good, especially something sweet or something salty. It be calling your name, Lindsay. It be calling me. And I'm just a particular type of criminal. I'm like a dog chasing cars. When I get one, I don't want to do it. So I'm sorry about him. He's just I don't know, but So
Comes sometimes. Yeah.
yeah, he comes in times. He's a part of me. He likes to say to me, he's like, "You complete me," but I just don't know that about you. So as a competitor, it's a lot of work and a lot of time you put into the sport. And what would you want to see change out of it for yourself?
What would I want to see? How would I want to see the sport change?
Yeah.
It would be really cool if the league did more to feature its athletes. If it was like how the WWE really makes the athletes the stars of the shows, either by sharing their lives, sharing their goals, or just highlighting, maybe focusing on like how they train or how we diet, or try to engage like the athletes in the league events more. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think more recognition
Yeah.
because like just like any other like sport, I think most mainstream sports recognize great talent. Like you look at the NBA, LeBron James and those guys out there. Like your daughter does tennis. Like one of my favorite tennis players is the Williams sisters. I love Serena and Venus. Just had the Masters. You had Tiger Woods. He was playing. And I think he should retire.
I know. I
I
can't believe
mean,
I was playing in the Masters this last weekend. That's so cool.
yeah. Yeah, I think I was talking to my nephew. He's a big sports fan. They also, I think somebody else, I think it's another golf league offered him a lot of money to play for them, but he's been
Oh,
like
the
more
Middle
to,
East. You're talking about the Middle East League.
yeah, I think it's live they call it. I think they call it. Yeah, I think it was like maybe was it about 8 million or something like that. Oh, yeah, hey, I don't know. Hey, you offer me that money. Hey, I'm going. Because but like I said, this is about a sport that take a lot of time and a lot of money, and you have to have a passion for it because there's so much to it. So ever since I started doing content, because I was mostly a fan of bodybuilding. I grew up. My brother used to be a football player here in our hometown. I played football too, and the muscle magazines. And I grew up with, like the Arnold Schwarzenegger, Taylor Arnold Schwarzenegger era. The started Lee Heaney, and then everything else. And then when I got a little older, people like Corey Everson and Linda Murray, because I was going to my pubescent age, that just kind of blew my mind. But then doing this content, I get to learn stuff about you ladies because there's a lot to being a competitor in this sport, and people don't respect. I don't think they have. They just be like, you're changing the aspect of what's considered feminine. We have more muscles than the average dude, and I've had people make comments like, "Oh, she's trying to be a man." Yeah, 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 yeah. You like for your bodybuilders? Are you gay or something? No, you're a woman and you're an athlete, and I think that people need to recognize that.
Definitely. Yeah. And I mean, there's some weird stuff that's been, in um, our news media, and that's becoming more pushed to social norms. I don't know where trans bodybuilding is going to go, but I do know that in other sports I would be I would be so disappointed if I was like one of the college female swimmers, and I had to compete against um, a transitioned swimmer that was a male. I just don't think I don't know where bodybuilding is going to go and land on this, but yeah, they're going to have to like figure that out, because
Well, I know.
I can see that area growing, or becoming more of like a normal um, occurrence, I
Yeah,
guess.
I think some people believe that they should have their own separate league because you know what, it would be unfair to put a woman against a guy who has natural testosterone. He can
Right.
build muscle a lot faster than I think that's fair. Also same thing with even with the mainstream sports. Truthfully, even a transition woman wouldn't do against a regular man, and even a trans man wouldn't do as well against a regular man, and try to compete against women, it'd be unfair. Here we got some comments here. It's from man Davis Adams. He says, hello, George and Lindsey. Hello, Davis. Also, this is from my man Chad. He says, I eat healthy too sometimes. It's called Subway Eat Fresh.
Mm.
I think I had some Subway about a month or so ago. And also, this is from man Money J. Shout out to Money J. It says the IFBB needs to give the women more shows to make it fair for all the categories, including women's physique. But like I say, we all know that it's the money game. You
It is
know,
because the promoter, the show promoter, whether it be like Gary Udit or
Tim Gardner.
yeah, Tim Gardner, exactly. Whoever's the promoter or muscle contest, whoever's putting on the show has to always also make ends meet. They have to. It can't just be like a wash to them. They have to find that it's profitable, and if it's not profitable, they can't. It can't continue year over year.
Yeah. Say if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. And it wasn't that long ago. We just had a couple weeks ago. We had Triple O Dynasty. I got to watch the show. It was. I liked the show. It was great. I mean, I hope you bring it back next year because think about it. It's a show that's closer to the West for you because you live in California.
Yeah.
There's like the Arizona Pro, which is part of the Rising Phoenix. There's the Legions Sports Fest. And I think there's another show that's in I think it's in Oregon or Washington State. I think it's the Emerald
The
Masters. I
Emerald
think
Cup. Hmm.
Emerald Cup, yeah. And again, y'all women's physique have a little more shows than women's bodybuilding, but it's still there should be opportunities for y'all to compete. And if one thing is, this is one thing. Are you sponsored or
No.
yeah? This is one thing that can help you athletes sponsorship because that will help pay for the cost of your travel expenses, also your food costs, stuff like that. The little things that can help maybe take a little stress off your shoulders. Because
I'll put it to you this way, George. That my sponsor is here. Is my gym is my sponsor. My
yeah,
business is my sponsor. Yeah.
that's a good thing to get the business. But also it'd be great if you have somebody else say,
It
Lindsey,
would be lovely. I would
yeah,
love to represent a company if they, so desired a women's physique pro to represent them.
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, because I know this is what I say. This is truth of it. A lot of ladies in the sport, they have to find ways to circumvent money. And as I call them, no offense to what they are, but it's most that's what we know we are. They're the beat the meat websites. That's and those are the ones that where some women make the money. Some women are going into like OnlyFans. It's something I know you wouldn't want to do because you have kids, and when it gets out the internet, careful. But also, you do photo sessions like with Sean. And those are pretty classy. I like Sean's work. I interviewed Sean a while back.
I love working with Sean Nelson. Yes.
Yeah, he's
Love
he's a great guy. He gave some good advice.
it. Hmm.
Yeah, and you know what? Sponsorship would help, but you gotta find the right people because sometimes you have to get careful. Some guys say, "Hey, Lindsey, I seen your show last time. Yeah, yeah, I really like your shape. I like your physique. You think you can do something for me? I do something for you? No, 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 no.
Right.
Don't do that." He likes to say, "Mrs. Diaz, we have a plan for you. If you're interested in our product, we want you to be a representative. So we'll take care of your expenses for your competition season. Anything you need from us, let us know. Make sure that everything works with you, then it works for us." And that's what I think. Truthfully, we need people like that. There's guys out here who are family ladies, but they don't want to be like, okay, the keyboard warrior be talking about, yeah, she's too big, she's like a man, yeah, yeah. And then 20 minutes later, they turn around and say, hey, Lindsey, I think you're cute. I want to get to know you. You can't. That is just you can't be that guy saying to be slap you with an iron fist, but then pat you on the back with a silk glove.
Right.
Yeah,
No.
we got here from a man, Arm Love, I think it is. He says, Army Lover. He said, Goddess. Shout out to him. And I tell you, like I said, Lizzie, when I get a new girl on here, these guys get excited. I think I have half a dozen guys watching right now. because
Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks for supporting whoever is watching the live stream here. We really appreciate the support in bodybuilding, especially those female bodybuilders that don't get enough credit for the work that they do in the sport. So I appreciate the eyes on this, and share with other um, bodybuilding hopefuls. And yeah, I'm not sure what your audience, like who you generally reach.
Well, I'm mostly catered to more to guys who are fans of the sport. Guys who like women's bodybuilding. Because with YouTube, there's not a lot of content about y'all. Other guys like the Female Body channel. There's DD on the spot. There's Ryan over D. There's Ryan. Yeah. There's a guy named his name is David. Bryant. He does female bodybuilding for him. I got a friend. His name's KL. He also does interviews with ladies in bodybuilding.
Oh, cool.
Really, it's about giving y'all ladies a voice. Where I just had like last week I had like 4 interviews with some ladies, some pro level ladies and some amateur ladies. I've had interviewed guys before, but with y'all women, y'all do truthfully need more attention.
Yeah.
I even do content on women WMA, mixed martial arts, because
Oh,
the
yeah.
fact is, it's like one of my jobs. I used to have a couple of jobs where I work with women almost every day. My first job was as a teenager. I was working in a gas station. Then I worked for 13s and textiles, and then I worked like 6 years in what you might call a gentleman's club. So
Okay. Yeah.
I worked around women a lot, and if you make women feel comfortable and they feel like they know there are somebody who pays attention to them, let them know that they know, hey, recognize your work and your commitment, your passion. You should get more attention. Here we got here, man, Cross Fat. He says, I think it's hard to push for more shows when some shows get only 2 to 4 competitors. Because I think, like I said, at the
I agree. And I think maybe a way to change that would be for the show sponsors to reach out to some female competitors and say, hey, we would love for you to commit to competing at our show. What can we do to help you commit? If maybe some of the show sponsors work with the promoters and said, okay, we're going to guarantee like these 3 to 5 female pros are committed and promoting this show coming up.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah,
can be done.
because simple as it's like, okay, we're just gonna pay for their room and board and cover costs a couple other things. I mean, you're making money off of off you being there at these shows because these sponsors need these shows to sell their product. Like you think about like a show like the Olympia or the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. How they're gonna get people to notice them because not a lot of bodybuilding is not on television mainstream anymore like it used to be when I was growing up.
Right.
It's mostly online and the social media. That's where it's really getting where it's being seen more, like on YouTube or also live streaming these shows. Like I said, again, I went saw you to compete at Savannah. Actually, I was so happy when I saw Andrea was there. I was so surprised.
I know. That's cool, huh?
I mean, and I got to meet some ladies who I interviewed a while back. I also got to meet people who I follow. Like I got to talk with Alina Popa. She was there at that show, and and I saw one guy who really saved women's bodybuilding. Anytime Lindsey, I got to say his name. I got to do this. Yo, Jake, I want that money. I want that gun. Shout out to Jake Wood. He's he's doing good work for just in general for women's bodybuilding. I think
definitely. Shout out to Jake Wood for supporting the sport as he does.
Yeah.
He's a tremendous support.
Yeah, he's a great fan. He says, this is from a man, AVZ1. He says, Lindsey, how much does your diet change when you're not prepping for a show or off season, and are water pills still being used? So,
I'm not sure what water pills he's referring to. Some competitors, right before they hit the stage, will use diuretics, like albuterol, diazide. Those are pretty common. You should be able to, if you are truly lean and peeled enough and conditioned, you shouldn't need any diuretics though. And my diet, as far as my diet's concerned, it really doesn't change that much. I don't track when I'm off season as far as like tracking my macros or calories or being like so strict with my meal times. I think that's what changes the most, honestly, is the time of my meals and being very strict down to like the minute. When I'm prepping versus like off season, I'm like, okay, I have a little bit more flexibility. Maybe I'll eat within, a 3-hour window, 4-hour window. Maybe I'll fast in my morning and then have, 2 meals that day. And it's less consistent for sure.
Mm-hmm. And thing also, so again, consistency is important to as a bodybuilder. Following a proper diet. And also your times you work out. When you work out, what's your recent favorite workouts?
Ooh, okay. So I love training. That's what really draws me to the sport and keeps bringing me back is the training. I love lifting weights. And last year was my first year that I actually trained a little bit like a power lifter. And being that I focused on the squat, the bench, and the deadlift for my main lifts. And, someone would argue like, okay, like that's going to give you a thicker core. Some bodybuilders don't even do barbell back squats. But that's like my favorite exercise. How could I not? Or how it feels to pick up like 400 pounds off the ground in a deadlift. There's nothing that compares to that. Like when you can achieve that type of strength, it's just, oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's just riveting. So, as far as like my favorite or least favorite training, I think my favorite thing to train is it used to be shoulders. That used to be my favorite thing to train because I could train shoulders like every day. I could just come up with new exercises to just kill my shoulders. I love it. But I think now, since it's just been my weak point, my leg days are my favorite. Yeah, I know, right?
You're not the first one who told me they love leg day. It's first time I heard that somebody told me they love leg day. Said you must be a mutant because generally it's usually chest, maybe back and shoulders, but rarely leg day. Because you think about it, one of my favorite episodes of Chappelle's Show was when Charlie Murphy meets Rick James. They go back to Eddie's house. And,
Oh yeah.
and you remember he's like, F your couch, Eddie Murphy, F your couch, and they're beating Rick's legs,
His
and
legs
yeah, and Dave Chappelle's
crawl
crying.
out.
Said, yes, you give your inwards any money. That's how leg day is for a bodybuilder.
Oh
It's
my
like
god, it is.
they're crawling out. You feel like a little newborn calf. You
You
try to
need
stand up.
crutches. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, crutches. Like I said, the abs is the centerpiece of a great physique. You got to really work on those. Core is it's very important part. This is from my man CrossFit. He says, has Lindsey considered being competitive in other sports like powerlifting or CrossFit? So, like I said, you were trained as a powerlifter. So, would you think about doing powerlifting?
I would. Yeah, I would. I've gotten my maxes up pretty high, so I feel like I could be competitive in the powerlifting world. I think if I were to pursue powerlifting, my main that I would focus on would probably be my bench press. Um, the squat, I would love to have a better squat, but it's also like the risk reward, right? Oh my God. Imagine as a female loading like 500 to 600 pounds on the bar and squatting that. That's a lot of weight.
I couldn't imagine as a man. Like I said, I got two bad knees like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I couldn't go that low. And I think there's a lot of women who transition from powerlifting to bodybuilding. I know one lady competing in making her pro debut. She was a powerlifter, and
Okay.
she's going to compete. Yeah, she's competing at the Van Island show and was bodybuilding. She earned a pro card last year at the USA's when a lady who I interviewed a while back. A CrossFit, like Jenny, she used to be a CrossFitter before she got into bodybuilding. I
Yeah.
know some. Yeah, I know some ladies who left bodybuilding for CrossFit. I interviewed Lee Kiros, who was she's IFBB Pro, but she doesn't compete. She mostly does powerlifting and she does CrossFit.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, this is from a man. David says, "Wow, you're super strong." He said, "She's strong." So, you know,
Yeah, I
so
hope so by now. If I've been bodybuilding for 5 years, I hope I have some strength gains as well.
yeah.
It's not just here to look at, right? It's just, you know.
Well, for us, the guys who are smos, and let's admit that we do look at y'all ladies. We do. We got like so again. We up on stage. You're nearly dehydrated. You're starving, but we see that look. You know, you're shredded. You're popped out. Everything's your veins, your vascular, the tan. It's something we enjoy. But we understand. I understand. I know some guys do that. It's a lot to get to that stage.
Oh
The
yeah.
sacrifice you got to make. You know, there's times you can say, you know what, I can spend more time with my girls. You know, I could, go traveling. I can go do this and do that. But to do this sport, even though there's no real money in it, like it's like any mainstream sport, you have to have a passion for it. You know, the reward is maybe, like I said, going to the Olympia or winning a big show and get a nice payday. You got to think about it. If you can do a show and win $20,000, right there, that's your prep for the rest of the year. I mean, you can buy yourself a couple of good suits and also cover your costs in next show. You can take your girls with you because I know they do when they go to shows. Are they there with you? When they say, "Hey, mom, we root for your mom," and you're like, "Yay!"
They were there when I won my pro card, and that meant the world to me. That was so cool that they were there when I won my pro card. So they saw me aim for something, work at it for a couple of solid years. Or it took me. I stepped on the stage in 2018, and I won my pro card in 21. So it took me 3 solid years to get that. Um, so that was really cool to have them. They don't typically go to competitions with me. They're at the age now where I would consider if they wanted to go, like, sure, great. But as a single mom, like trying to like manage and herd kids while you're trying to prep and compete on the bodybuilding stage, it's not ideal.
Well, they're teenagers now. They need to take care of themselves. They should help you a little more too. And like I said, I think they probably would love to go with you with Tampa because Dad is you're not that far from Disney World.
Right,
You
yeah.
spend you can take the you can take the day and and spend with the kids. But yeah, it's a lot to being a mom, being a boss, being a trainer, a coach. There's so much to the sport, and you really have to try to find a balance for yourself. Those times you want to sit back and say, you know what, just spend time with the girls and sit and just chill and just enjoy life. But then, like I said, when you're ready to get ready, you're like my man Rocky. No matter how hard life hits, you gotta keep moving forward.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is for a man. Money J says, "What's your inspiration right now as a women's physique athlete?" Now,
That's a really good question. I do like Andrea Shaw. I look at some of the female bodybuilders, and that's who I'm kind of looking up to. Um, there's I don't know, there's a number of athletes. I also look at the athletes that came before me, like even like Corey Iverson, Linda Murray, like they have some amazing physiques. And I do like the 90s female bodybuilder look. I think that's my favorite look because I feel like it's pretty balanced,
yeah,
as far as like muscle density, muscle size, even like your conditioning, the level of conditioning, it's not too much, where
yeah.
sometimes it's just a little, you get to these shows and some of the females are just like so dry that it takes away. I think it takes away from like your natural beauty.
Yeah, you get that death face. I haven't heard of it.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, like I'm already getting like some of my like laugh lines in now as like I start to diet, but
yeah,
man,
yeah. I know. I love Andrea. I mean, she's just so beautiful. She has a great physique. I'm
yeah,
a
she's
fan
great.
of hers. This is my man, Big Keith. He does live streams with me. He's a pro too, and he has his hand on my girl. That's my. I tell him he's supposed to be doing a guest posing with her. I told Keith last time we did a live stream yesterday. Keep your hands off her. You got a wife. I'm sorry, Lindsey. I'm sorry. I tell him to keep his hand off his woman. But he's my brother. I love him. But he's my brother. I love him. But he just, But I get that like that. I know. I'm just. What you know, you realize something. I'm crazy. So anyway, this is for man. CrossFit says, has Lindsey ever gotten feedback to move up to female bodybuilding? No. I know. I think some ladies feel like they're more comfortable where they're at, in the divisions. But then I see some ladies that look like they should consider moving up. Like good examples, like Ashley Jones competing in New York Pro in next month. She was figure. She's now was physique, and now she's going up to women's bodybuilding. You
Wow.
know, yeah. Some say that Natalia might need to move up because that's the debate.
That's yeah. I couldn't see that really happening. I did compete in female bodybuilding in the amateur level. So, in if you look through my that NPC News online in my past competitions, I competed in God, what show was it? I think it was when they had the USA's in Arizona during COVID. They had some shows in Phoenix, and I did compete in female bodybuilding in that division.
Yeah. I know a lady who's a friend of mine, Jada Beverly. She competed at USA's. That's where she got a pro card record 2019. And I think that's where some, especially ladies who started out. There wasn't that many divisions back in the day. You had women's bodybuilding, and then here comes fitness, and then here comes a figure, and then here comes physique. And some ladies that they earned their pro cards as bodybuilders, but then when the new divisions came in, they decided, you know what, let me find something that works with my genetics and my build. Some girls were too small for women's bodybuilding, and then some women were too large for physique. I mean, for figure. And physique came along. It gave that opportunity for them to say, you know what, let me work with this the division that grows with me and my body type. Here's we got here from Man Money J says, the 90s women's bodybuilding era was the best era of in my opinion. Yeah, Linda Murray, Laura Crayval, Vicky Gates. I love those ladies. I even interviewed Sue Price. She was a legend. Yeah, Nancy Lewis. We're good friends. I mean, those women. I was a big fan of them. People like Krista Bach. I met Andrea Vecchio when I was at Savannah, and beautiful physique, just a beautiful physique back in the day. Here, this is from my man. Wait, we see. It's popular. He says, my man, Lawrence Perkins. Yeah, calm down, George. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, I'm calm down, brother. And this is from man Davy says, he says, George, heal. I say, okay, I'm calm, brother. He said like this, says George, dude, relax. Keith was just trolling with that pic of Andrea. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. I know he wasn't. He knows how I feel about her. He has hands on her. He knows how I feel. But I'm sorry. So we're not going to hold Lindsey too much longer. We're going to let her go. But we do appreciate the time she's given us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on.
Well, this is my favorite quote from my favorite movie, Dark Knight Begins. It's innovative. And when Jim Gordon said to Batman, I get a chance to say thank you. And Batman turned around and says, you never have to. Because I give you ladies deserve to be recognized for your hard work and commitment for the sport. It's a lot, especially to be a woman in the sport was considered very more male oriented. That's why I say when we do questions, why you get yourself to support of muscle masculinity. People feel like men should have muscles, but women, you'll have muscles too. It's just a different look compared to the everyday person. And some people who don't feel comfortable with it, that's you. You don't have to say anything. Move on, focus on something else. But like I said, yeah. But the problem is people don't like anything that kind of change what they think is considered normal.
What their perception of normal is. And you know what? I've never colored inside the lines. Sorry. I'm an out of the box type of person. And I'm the type of person also, if you tell me like this is going to be more challenging, this road is going to be more difficult, you're going to be faced with more hardship, game on. Let's go.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite quote is from, like I said, from Rocky Balboa. And I'll send you a copy to you. You want to listen to it. It's when he talks to his son, saying, "It's not, it's a tough world, and they'll beat you down, but it's not about how hard you can hit. It's how hard you can take the hits and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done."
I love that quote too. Yeah.
Yeah, it is great.
I love the Rocky series.
Yeah, I think the last couple Rockies not as much. I didn't even watch the Creeds. I wasn't into much, but yeah, I think from 1 through 5, it was pretty good because I really Sylvester Stallone, guys like Stallone and Schwarzenegger. I grew up watching as a kid. Stuff I heard about Schwarzenegger's success doing content about bodybuilding is kind of disappointing. But sometimes your heroes not always what you think they are. This is from a man. Lawrence Perkins says, "I agree. Shout out to all the era female from bodybuilding. from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And also, he says the early 2000s as well. Also, we have here, he says, as long as everyone can be whatever they want to be, look how you walk to look. And also, this is from Chad. He says, oh man, Corey Everson was so fun back in the 90s, especially in the double impact, but she retired. Yeah, I think, And also, it's from Cross Fat. He says, feel like I'm going to run through a wall after what Lindsey just said. Shout out to him. and also, this is from David. It says, yes, beautiful women bodybuilders of 80s, 90s, and 2000s are gorgeous. And also, this is from James Henry. Says, I totally love the Rocky series too. Everybody gotta love the Rocky. It's just the first movie. It's just so inspirational. He lost, but then in the third movie with Mr. T said, "Hey woman, come here, real man." That's funny. And the last 4 and 5 were all right. 4 and 5 were pretty good, but Rocky Balboa so. But the Creed, I knew we get extras. So, folks, we like to say again, we appreciate Lindsey's time she's given us. I know she's looking at her phone. She's busy. She got things she got to do. She's a coach, she's a trainer.
It's not time. I'm having a client probably walk through the door in about 15 minutes. So I get to get my mindset ready to go ahead and give them the best little training session here. And then I get to get ready and train myself in a couple hours.
Well, I do appreciate time with you. While we let you go, you have anybody you want to shout out?
Definitely, yeah. My coach Phil Viz, so knowledgeable. I've learned so much through working with him. He's also my mentor in bodybuilding in the bodybuilding space. So as I continue my career into coaching, that's who has given me a more formal education and background. Dispelling all of these myths and all of these sort of tricks in competitions. There's a lot of stuff that you start out as an amateur and you think oh, this is how it's done. And there's a right way and a wrong way to do things. And so it's important to understand why you want to do things the right way and how to do them correctly.
Yeah, because my other guy would say, what doesn't make you stranger makes you stronger. So anyway, this is for a man. Lawrence Perkins says, trained by the best Lindsey. Also, this is from David says, good luck, Lindsey. And also, this is from CrossFat, crunch it, Lindsey. No weird dims, guys. So guys, we'd like to thank Lindsey for the time she's given us. We wish her best of luck. Go into Tampa. That is a show that possibly can get you Olympic qualification, depending who's there. Let's cross our fingers, no Natalia.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to show up at my best, and that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. You do you be the best you can be, and and I think, like I said again, if you come in your best, you deserve rewarded for what you put yourself through. It's a 100%. Lot. Until again, yeah. So 100%. Folks, I like to thank my man Chad for coming through, Curtis for coming through, also CrossFat. My man Lawrence Perkins.
Yep.
I always gotta thank Lawrence because he's in here. Davis Allen. Everybody who watches this, shout out to Female Bodybuilding Channel came through here. Everybody who watched this live stream, you can watch it again and miss some stuff. Follow me and Lindsey on social media. Lindsey's information is in the description of this live stream. You can follow her. But guys, she got kids. No D pics.
Yeah, no weird messages. Thank you.
Nothing. Be respectful. Be that guy to say, you know what, Lindsey, I got a plan for you. If you're interested in it, make it genuine. No weird shit. Come on, guys. Come on. Anyway, thank you again, Lindsey. I appreciate the time you give me. So, anyway, this is your man, always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't subscribe. Good week, and good luck.
All right. Shout out. Take care.